The News Guy. He sells a lot of press releases online at TheNewsGuy.com. Pleased to meet you. How you doing?
Yeah. Hey, good to connect with you, man. Finally,
Yeah,
it seems like as we say, we kind of circulate in a lot of the same circles, but I think this is a first time we actually connect and sit down and have a chat. So this is good.
yeah, for sure. Yeah. There's a lot of crossover. There's a lot of people that you speak to who speak very highly of yourself, and then
Yeah,
obviously press releases are a hot topic at the moment, where a lot of
yeah,
people are looking to build those referring domain counts up and the backlink profile and stuff like that. So
yeah.
I'm gonna shoot straight in, Randy. Right.
All right.
So there is quite a few different press release services out there, and obviously yourself, there's a lot of benefits in using thenewsguy.com. So can you, for the audience who has never used you, try to explain certain reasons of what sets you apart in comparison to other press release services?
Yeah. So, and there are a lot of press release services out there. So, and uh, I'm not going to badmouth any of them. I think they all probably
Yeah.
do a good job. What I say, this is what I always come back to is like, well, what sets us apart or what makes us what I think is as a competitive advantage? And it comes down to a few different things. One, I think, is we use human writers. So you provide your requirements to us. I've got an editor. She reviews the stuff, sends it then over to our team of writers. We call it the writing desk. It gets assigned to a specific writer. They write it based on your requirements, goes back to our editor where she then optimizes it for best SEO performance. And we've spent a lot of time training, a lot of time working with our team to try to really nail this process down. And then we send it back to you for review. You can fully edit whatever you like. And then once you say, hey, it's good, boom, we send it out. So I think our human writing team, we don't do AI stuff. We feel like PRs is a nuanced, I think, skill, and it's more art than science, I think, to it than what you're going to be able to get appropriately with through an AI generated content. As an example, I mean, we're like, hey, this is about a home services in Cleveland versus something else. And so we want to be sure that we're pulling in, geo-relative terms to really target and connect the signals, right, on the search engines that this home service is in Cleveland and it's related, right? So we're trying to send all those signals that way. So I think our human writing, we've spent a lot of time and resources in investing on our reporting. And I think, and I've seen a lot of different reports from competitors. This one, I will say, I think we really have nailed it down. We give you an online link, so you can go and link and just pull it up online. And then from there, you can download the PDF file, and all of the links on the PDF file are all active links. And so then you can go and do a lot of different things with that, meaning like we might talk about this later, but helping to boost these links. And so you can go publish it out on PDF sites or whatever. You can download the report as an Excel file and then do whatever you want with it in an Excel format. Or you can use it as is. We work with a lot of different agencies, and so we can white label those reports as well, which is great. So it looks like hey, it's coming from James. Look at how cool this looks, right? This is what we did for you. And with our reporting, it gives you a full, here's how many news sites. Here are obviously the links of all of the news sites. You can just go click on and go look at the story. Here's how many views your article has gotten, what the syndication is, like millions of potential of that. So we put a lot of effort into that. And then we go and we update and we pull the API. We do that at least 3 times throughout about a 10-day period. So you get the initial report, and then we go and we update it again after about 5 days, and we do it again after 10 days, just so you kind of get an idea of how this thing continues to pop up. So I think a reporting, and then the other aspect is just the back end of what we do. Like we do a lot of automated aspects and automatic kinds of things to helping to support both the indexing and the juice of the PR sites, the news sites. So we have a number of cloud stacks and Google entity stacks that then we take and we take it in different formats, both the PDF or an Excel. We convert it into a Google sheet because it gives us a little more flexibility on some stuff. And we also take just the published article itself off of our newsroom, and then we disperse it onto a number of our private cloud stacks that we utilize and Google entity stacks. And so essentially those stacks are acting as a tier 2 to fire up all of those news sites that are on your reports. And then we also have our own private network of Google news sites, and we're drip feed out your story across our Google News network over about a 6 to 8 week period. So over time, you're constantly getting additional news or publications of your news article constantly going to help kind of, what I say, give a signal then to both the search engines as well as or the articles. So like if it's Digital Journal or AP News or Benzinga or whoever, that they see like this story is getting a lot more traction. It's getting traffic from, and it helps just the engagement on their site. One of the things that we always try to do then is, because of that, and I've seen this and I've presented this a number of different times, is by doing engagement on your press releases, you can drive the lifespan of those press releases. I mean, I have press releases that are going on 5 years old at this point, that because we just continue to kind of do things to create engagement, so that, AP News or Digital Journal, like, wow, there's still traffic. This thing is still pulling activity in here. So let's just keep it up. But those
with regards to the
Yeah.
engagement, is that something that they can get through you, or is it do you outsource that to somebody else? Like,
No. Yeah, no, we do that. So if you come onto our site, we've got we've got a different packages that you can pick up from us, but we also have a lot of different add-ons. So you can like, hey, I really want Benzinga and Business Insider, a financial piece, or if you're doing crypto, we've got a crypto package that you can add on to. Or as well, we've got links that we call our PR booster links. And so we're building links out to those, some of your strongest news sites. So to really drive, again, that juice and that engagement on those things.
I think the most important part of all this, of what you're talking about, for anyone that doesn't know TheNewsGuy.com and Randy, is that Randy's networking with some of the most advanced SEOs there is in the world. So although he's providing a press release, he understands everything related to SEO with regards to optimizing the content, getting the right NLP entities on the page to give you the best chances of ranking. And then there's one or two things that he was talking about in the reporting, which is very important. That if you can export the Excel document of all the links, you can then start loading those into indexing tools or sending those for tier 2 backlinks, which gives them additional power at a page level for each one of those articles. I think that's a big part where there is one or two, I'm not going to badmouth myself, any other press release providers at all, but the fact that you are an SEO first and you understand the benefits of this, of getting several hundred referring domains through to the website, but then also making certain that they're optimized for relevance, then also giving it the power with regards to the tier 2s in the indexation. And then you're talking about like traffic and engagement and stuff like that, which keeps them up as well. All those added benefits are what, in my opinion, sets you apart from a lot of other press releases there is out there. Yeah. So anyway, let me just jump into a few different questions, because you showed a few different things and I want to dig a little bit deeper into it. But for anyone that's never used TheNewsGuy.com, then can this press release syndication and distribution be used in the UK, or is it just US, or can it be used in Australia? Like where present do you have clients and that you've seen good results for?
Yeah. So we have clients worldwide, but primarily US, Canada, UK, Australia. Those are kind of our, if I had to say, where's your primary marketplace?
Yeah.
Those are the clients that we get. So we've got different, I mentioned like add-ons. So you could get our standard PR package and then get our international add-on to go with that and pick up sites in Canada and the UK. If you're in Canada, we just launched this about 3 months ago of a big Canadian distribution network. So you can pick up, I think that network is about 105 Canadian news sites all across Canada, which is pretty significant as we've pushed that up. But yeah, and I'm a big believer. I'm curious on your opinion of this, but I'm a believer that a link is a link. So if you get, a link from, and some of these are international anyway, AP News, right? It doesn't matter whether it's, the US, where your business is, US, UK, AP News is AP News. But if you get a link from the Dallas Tribune news site, but you're a business in the UK, it's still a strong, authoritative link for you. And we're talking about whatever your subject is, right? If you're I'll try to, a rubbish collector from the UK.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't matter, right? We're going to talk about collecting rubbish and we're going to mention, Manchester or wherever the hell, your business is located. We're going to drive in the relevancy to it. It's going to be a good article and you're going to get great links from it. So
I think on that, just so you know my thoughts on it, I completely agree, and I love the fact that you say a link is a link. In the most recent mastermind that we had, which was talking about backlinks, we'd sat there and the people don't procrastinate. They're not perfectionists. They scale out. They're doing multiple 6 figures a month. And one thing that you could see is there was just zero procrastination in there, and they just try to get as many different referring domains as you can pointing to your site. Now, that's not to say you go and hit GSA directly to the money site and that's it. But building up those referring domains, in an ideal world, like an ideal link would be you'd go down the road of saying that it's relevant, powerful, trusted, do follow. But the point is, with all that, is there's a very finite amount of those. And the biggest link building myth in the industry is that a backlink needs to tick all of those boxes. It doesn't. What you do need is a blended mix within your backlink profile of, if you had a lot of powerful links that wasn't relevant, I would start going down the road of getting some more relevant links. If you had lots of relevant links, but there was no power or trust in there, again, I'm trying to get more power and trust in there. But I also like to have a nice mix of do follow and no follow links. I also want to make certain I'm diversifying my anchor text as much as I can. So stuff like your press releases, and this is why I wanted to get you on, is there's so many added benefits from an SEO standpoint. So you're looking at it, you're getting lots of different referring domains. You're getting anchor text diversity, because majority of the time, I'm just trying to do naked URL type backlinks. You're getting lots of no follow in there, which I quite like, because I'm going to get my do follow from my link inserts, my guest posts, and other type of links if I'm doing PBNs, depending on people's risk tolerance. But then you've got EAT signals that's coming back with it as well. So like a lot of mine, what I try to do is, if I've just won an award, I want to do a press release about winning that award. So that next minute, and I want to mention my author's name. So I'm getting an author brand cert. I'm getting that the brands won lots and lots of awards. that's great for doing your brand SERP.
Yeah.
So then you're dominating your brand SERP for what you want, which is huge for reputation management.
Yeah.
So, and then, which I want to try and touch on in a second, is I'm going to ask you certain questions which I know the answer to, but these viewers might not. But it's little things like that same press release can help you rank images better, can help you rank videos better, can help you rank Google business profiles better.
Yeah.
And it's adding lots of trust with co-citations of getting the NAP in there as well. So the benefits of press releases is insane. And this is why I wanted to get you one, because there's certain people that just do follow exact match anchors. I'm like, no, you need this diversity in your backlink profile.
You gotta have the diversity. I was just talking so I do a lot of free consultation. Like, you can go onto our site and just book 15 minutes with me, and we'll talk about your next PR project. I was talking with a guy, today is Monday, so it must have been Friday. And his competitor is like a cars.com, right? And he was like, how do I get there? And we were looking at cars.com, and cars.com has something like almost 6 million backlinks, right? It's huge. Something like 90,000 referring domains. To your point, not all of those things are going to be, tick your box for the ultimate best link, right? They're not all going to be relevant. They're not all going to be, do follow. They're not all going to be a high authority. They're going to, you look at their profile, they're going to have shit links in there. They're going to have high authority links in there. That's all natural. A search engine, Google, is going to look at it like, hey, if you're a strong site, people or links or sites are going to be linking to you that are dog crap. You're going to have really good links as well, and everything in between. And so I think a good diversification of links is what required. Now, so with our press release, I'm talking about do follows as well. So you could come to us and like, hey, I want all your no follow links. It's going to help with my backlink profile. But if you need a lot of do follows, you can do an add-on and pick up do follow links from us too.
Yeah. Yeah, you want, like I said, you want that blended mix. I think the good thing is as well, is that a lot of people obsess over DR, and DR, domain rank, or DA and domain authority, is the link is placed on a page, not on a domain. So, but the good thing is about the power and the traffic, which are two massive parts of how good a link is with you being an SEO, you can manipulate those two factors. You can send engagement and behavioral signals and traffic through to those links, and you can hit tier 2s to it. So when people talk about those, well, those are easily manipulated as part of the press release, and works nicely. So there's that part to it as well. But let's jump in, right? So people now have seen, right, okay, Randy knows what he's doing. TheNewsGuy.com, like, I want to order. Can you, as part of your press release in the content, can you include images? Yeah. Can you include videos? And can you include a Google Business embed link?
Yeah, all of that stuff. We take care of all of that. And it's funny you mentioned about images specifically, like, hey, ranking images. We did that for Craig Campbell was doing, this was last year, I think, some kind of an image ranking contest that he was
Image King.
Yes. Yeah. And so at the last minute, he came to us and like, dude, what can you do for me? Can you? And so we popped him in one of our premium PRs and ranked his image as the, whatever the term was, image king or whatever. But the PRs are awesome for that. Very fun.
And it's so important. Like, the point is that, in my opinion, people look at websites and they don't treat it like real businesses, right? When you're looking at it as a real business, you want that traffic diversification. Yeah. I want to be ranking web pages. I want to be ranking images. I want to be ranking videos. I want to be in Google News. Yeah. I want to be everywhere I possibly can where my customers might be searching. Yeah. And especially in some niches, like I build a lot of playgrounds in the UK. Now, one of the major terms where we win a lot of work is playground designs, play area designs, children playground designs, because people want to see aesthetically how it's going to look, and then normally from the designs they're choosing, I want that one. So anything related to designs, anything related to ideas, so keyword ideas, or anything related like kitchen remodeling and stuff like that. Kitchen remodeling is such a lucrative market, but you want to be ranking images. So if you can go and get the press release and you can rank those images, people might go, I really like that and I want to order that. They click from the image, they don't even click from the web page. It goes through to the site, bam, they've got the inquiry. They might make 10, 15,000 pounds in the UK, maybe $20,000. The big jobs on the kitchen remodeling for a lot of jobs, and ranking those images is key.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so with the images, you can do a lot of different things with those images, obviously. And so with the meta information on the images, you can stuff those things with keywords or phrases, whatever you'd want, whatever your strategy, your SEO strategy is per se. And then as well, link that out to whatever page you want within on your website. So it's very good. And all of our peers. So at base, you can put 3 images in, and then as you go up our tiers, you can put in more images. So it's very good. Yeah, very good that way. But
and then what about videos? What you're doing with regards to videos? Can you embed the video on there? Can you link through to a video as well?
Challenging on the videos because as we distribute our some of the news sites will take videos and others don't, and because of that it's a challenge for us on doing kind of segregating those out. It is a process that we're working on right now of like going, all right, we want to do a video, and so we've got to essentially kind of distribute that almost separately than we would anything else. So our challenge is like, well, if you come to us and I say like, well, if you get our standard package, you're going to get somewhere between 400 and 500 news sites. And then you come like, but Randy, I want to put a video in there. So now I got to like, well, shoot. Now I have to like, well, of those, 400 or 500 news links, I know that shooting it out through the video is going to like 200 of those are not going to work. So now I got to think through how do we, kind of overcome that challenge. But images, no problem. Any other kind of embeds, no problem. And
what about the Google Business Profile embed?
Yeah. That's not a problem. The other thing, I can't remember what I was, shoot, you said something that earlier and I was like, oh yeah, I want to be sure I touch base on that. But now I'm like completely mind fart. I don't know.
Reputation management, was it?
No, I can't. I'll keep talking and it'll
Yeah.
It's just, get old.
Do you try and recommend that everyone that's got the like they've got an address and a phone number, do you always try to make certain, obviously, as well as, let's say, embedding the Google Business Profile, you try at the bottom to get their name, address, and phone number in there as well?
Yeah, we try to do exact match on the citation, right? So whatever it is on the GMB itself, then, but the standard typically is going to be the company name, address, phone, website, and then email if they want an email in there or not. But we always try to get that good soft citation in there.
Yeah. Indexing. So can they help boost them with indexing? You touched upon it before. Is that something that you're doing yourself?
Yeah, we do that as well. So we typically, as we pull your report, we're taking those news sites and we're running them through our own indexer. Well, it's not our indexer. We use a couple of different SaaS indexers and push them through there as well. And we tend to, I don't know if I would say, but we like a couple of different ones. Omega and Synbite are two of the main ones that we try to push out.
Yeah. And then what about tier 2 backlinks? You said you're doing cloud stacking and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
give you another one as well offline to test out on the indexing. There's a new indexing tool out that pretty
What's it
much
called?
will. It's not out yet. It's called Indexceptional.
Oh,
It's not out to the public. So it
nice.
indexes like we ran recent tests and it was indexing at 84%.
Wow.
Second best was Index Me Now, but that's
Yeah,
expensive. That's a
that's
dollar per.
expensive. Yeah, we
It's
don't. I
but it
would
was
love to
actually
use
indexed.
Index Me Now, but man, I like a buck a link. That's like I can't do that.
Yeah, it's got better indexation than Index Me Now,
Mm,
and it's nowhere near the price of Index Me Now as well.
nice.
Um,
Hook me up,
so
James.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
I think it's not open to the public yet, but
Yeah,
like test it because obviously he's working. Also, it's
yeah.
100% guarantee. So
Nice,
any that don't index, you don't pay for.
nice.
So, but
That's even better. Love it.
yeah, tier twos.
Yeah.
So
So tier two.
what options do people have for tier 2 backlinks? So for anyone who doesn't know what a tier 2
Yeah.
is, they are getting a link that's then pointing to one of the press release articles to power that page up, which then is then linking through to your money site. So what are you doing at present? Obviously, there's lots of different tools. I've seen you on one or two other podcasts with regards to like with Elias, with SEO Neo. Like, are you using anything with like Money Robot? Are you doing anything like old school, like Ranker X, Xrumor, like GSA? Like what are you doing there at tier 2? Because to be fair, people laugh about stuff like GSA and Xrumor and Ranker X and Money Robot, but the truth of the matter is, if they're getting crawled by Google and they're relevant, they work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't do it directly to my money site, but at tier
No.
2s and tier 3s,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
work like
Yeah.
gangbusters.
Yeah. Well, and this is so now I'm connecting back what I wanted to mention earlier, but this is a much better segue with it is people, I think you have to remember when you're doing a press release, you were creating some very nice tier 1 links. And you have to think about your news site link as a tier 1. And so as an SEO, you're like, well, what am I going to do now with this tier 1? Do I just leave it as it is and like, hey, hope it all, or are you going to build tiers to that? Are you going to build a tier 2, a tier 3 to that tier 1 and push all that juice up? Absolutely. And so with that, then, so I tell people take your best. You don't have to do all of them. You can if you want, but you don't have to do all of them. But take at least your best ones in your report and build additional links to those. And so that's why internally, and we just do this automatically with every release. It doesn't matter whether you're on our standard package or our premium package. It's going out onto our clouds, onto our very specific private cloud stacks and entity stacks that we've built up. But in addition, there are a lot of fun things that you can do to help power these things up. Like I mentioned about, we give you the ability, you can download a PDF report with live links. I don't know, there's probably 300 or more PDF publishing sites. Some of those, they take your PDF file, and if your links are live on your PDF file, they'll keep them live on there as well. And so they're passing all of that great do follow juice onto those news site links. So that's a great resource to do. We don't do that service. I've thought about actually just like kicking that up, right? Like, hey, we'll take your PDF and publish it for you. But you can do.
Why don't you do that service? It would
Oh,
make
I
sense.
don't know. No, we can definitely. I just
Yeah,
don't.
yeah,
Dude, there's so many things we could be doing.
yeah,
Like,
exactly. Yeah,
right? Um,
yeah.
but yeah, so that is a great thing you can do with your PDF file. Another thing that we like to do, and it's similar to a process that we do automatically for your PR reports, which is so this is why I like the Excel file. We pull the Excel file down and then we put it in and convert it into a Google Sheet. I like Google Sheets because you can rank Google Sheets, right? You can make them public and rank those suckers. So we take them into Google Sheets and then we do a lot of fun different things with those. One, we embed that Google Sheet under our cloud stacks, into our Google entities. But, if you're just like doing this, wanting to do something on your own even, you can take that Google Sheet, put it into a public folder, and then like go GS, make that Google Sheet public, put it into a public Google folder, and then send GSA links to both of those things and fire those
And
things up.
just
They'll take a
out of
lot
interest
of
on that.
abuse,
Yeah.
but they help with the indexing and push more juice at all of those press release sites.
So on that, just for people to go through. So the Google Sheet has got links to all of the syndicated URLs.
Yeah. So I
Then
just
you
take
set
that report. Yeah.
yeah, you're setting that as being public on share public.
Yeah.
Do you have it that it's only view, you can't edit and stuff like that? I'm presuming so it's just view only.
But
Then
you
when
make
you
make the sheet public, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you can go in and publish the sheet so it's public.
Yeah.
And then I put that sheet though in a public Google folder.
What do you mean, a Google Drive folder?
Yes, a public Google Drive folder. And then I take that URL to that folder as well as that URL to the published Google Sheet. And then we just start bombing it with links, with GSA.
Wait, so are you doing any Scrapebox kind of blog comments? Are you just doing GSA? Are you doing any other tool? Everything. Just the kitchen sink at it.
We're just blowing it up, just bombing it, bombing that thing.
It's a Google property. They're not gonna hit a Google property.
Right? I love abusing Google property. This is good. So you can do that kind of stuff. So, and then, one of this we do as a service. So we've got a fairly large Google News site network. And so what we can do is kind of what we call as our PR boosters is that we take a handful of your best Google News, or not Google News, but best news sites coming off of your PR report, your distribution report. And then we create an article, a relative article, and then we publish that across our network as one big, kind of almost as a separate, think of it as like a separate release almost. But in that, we are linking, like the top 5, 6, 8 of your news articles, PR articles like Yahoo or whoever, and dropping that in there so that all of those Google News sites are powering up and acting as a tier 2 for those tier 1 news sites.
Yeah.
That one we do sell, so you can grab that one.
Sounds good. So for anyone that's looking, obviously, to buy a press release distribution from TheNewsGuy.com, then what little tips and tricks do you try to make certain that they're doing so? With regards to anchor, how many links can be included in the press release, and what anchor text do you personally recommend from the syndicated links through to your site?
Yeah, so let me answer that in a couple of different ways. First, so what we have found over the years, and we've been doing this for 2017 is when we started doing press releases. We built our newsroom out in 2000, launched it in the beginning of 2018. So, we've been doing it a bit. And what we have found, there's kind of a sweet spot, right? And I'm sure you do. You've got a lot of sites. You kind of think through this as well. You can overcompensate where you don't need to, meaning in word count and things like that with articles, because there's a diminishing return at a certain point. You do too much, it kind of hurts you more than benefits you. And the same is same thing in press releases. So what we have found that what I say is kind of the sweet spot for a press release is an article that's somewhere kind of about 600 to 750 words. That is the sweet spot. Less than that, you're not going to get as widely distributed. More than that, you get less distribution as well. So we target that 6 to 750. And then our general rule of thumb is we like to do one link, or what I should say, kind of the maximum, one link per 100 words. So if you've got a 600-word article, we generally kind of stick to about 6 links in it, because the more links you get, it tends to appear to be too spammy looking to some of the news sites, and so they won't pick it up. So if you have a 600-word article, I'd tell you like, hey, max only put in 6 links. You don't have to put in 6 links. You can put 2 in if you want, whatever you want. But that's what we kind of count. Now, your images and the link that you may link out off of your images do not count toward that. So that's, separate. Then when you start talking about anchors, I always do a branded anchor. I always tell people you should always do a branded anchor, right? Randy to the News Guy, branded anchor, and send it to your homepage because you want those great branded links to your homepage. Then it's going to depend upon what the objective of the press release is. Is this for a local business and you're trying to rank locally and your GMB locally? So if that's the case, your article, you want high geo-relevance and high geo-relevant terms sprinkled within that. And you're probably going to link out, or I would recommend linking out to a long-tail geo-relevant keyword phrase and link out to one of the various forms of your GMB, whether it's the search URL, the share URL, or the CID URL. We like to use those three, not all at once, but kind of if we're doing multiple PRs for somebody, we kind of rotate.
Have you ever tried doing the API URL?
The no,
API URL.
Yeah.
So a lot of people try to use like the share URL, and the only issue with doing the share URL on a GMB is that it's dynamic and it can change.
Yes.
Where one of the only links that doesn't, the CID obviously doesn't change,
right?
But when you go into share embed and then you get the link from the embed, that's the API.
From the embed.
That never changes, so it's always a constant, and that moves the needle pretty well. I'd say that and then the main URL are the two.
Yeah.
We used to do quite a lot with the CID URL, but we've changed it now to the API URL. The only issue is sometimes it loads, it looks like there's an error, but even though there's an error on the link, it's not an error. It just comes up saying this is the API URL.
Right.
It still passes the power. If you actually tested it, it still passes the power through and works really well.
Nice.
Well, yeah, it's something for you to test anyway on there. But yeah, the three that you mentioned, the share URL, the main URL, and the CID URL are the good ones. Also, I think there's a post URL as well, which works pretty well.
Yes. Yeah. So you can do image URLs in your GMB, which can work well, especially if you're embedding an image in the PR that's also an image from your GMB. And then so you can link to that, which works very effectively. Now we don't do this, but I know a lot of guys that do URL manipulation of your GMB. Like they'll build out that URL. I don't do that, and I'm not. I just don't do it. I'm not going to say it's good, bad, or otherwise. I'm just like, I don't know if I want to get into that or not. But I know a lot of guys that do, and they've had good success at doing that. But back to what your anchors are. So we tend to kind of go along like that. I also like to do, if it's an individual like the company president or somebody that's also going to be mentioned in, well, I like to go and link to then maybe one of theirs. Generally, if it's somebody within the organization, and link to their personal LinkedIn page is always good. Because that person is connected and they're giving a good signal to that. And a lot of times, in most instances, especially on LinkedIn, you're going to get a lot more traffic coming from the personal LinkedIn page than you are from a company LinkedIn page. So I like to link to that. And then also, depending upon, the purpose of, we do like to link to other branded foundational accounts. Or so if you have a YouTube channel, we like to go and link to a YouTube channel, go see this video kind of thing. Boom, there it is. And a Facebook page, anything like that, I think is great. So you're trying to connect the dots of all of the signals through that press release out to the search engines. And certainly I try to advise people, hey, don't exact match keywords. You don't want hey, best plumber in Cleveland. I'm exact matching that to my Cleveland plumbing page. I'm trying do long tail stuff, and you don't need to do exact match in there. However, we will write your article with the very specific keywords that you want so that that article has got it in there and that it's being related, the contextual relationship there. But yeah, not exact match branding or exact keyword anchor in those PRs. We try not to do that.
Well,
however, some people still, I can tell them like, I wouldn't do that if I were you. I mean, we sell the GSA as a service. I'm not kidding. Every day, people are like, yeah, hit this thing right on my money page, right on my homepage. I'm like, I have to tell you, I really wouldn't advise that. No. Yeah, I'm good. Go ahead. I'm like, all right.
To be fair, I bet you've done it a few times and it's actually worked. Like, it's crazy how sometimes people are too scared. I'm not saying to do it. Like, I definitely don't recommend doing it. But there's been so many times where they've gone, oh, we'll just throw the kitchen sink in it. And it's like jumped up and you're like, oh. The only thing is it normally does work. But the issue is, it's just what's going to happen at the next core algorithm update. Normally, that's when it normally catches up with them. So it works short term, but then kind of catches up.
Just a little,
so anyway,
risky.
Yeah. There's been lots of knowledge bombs shared. Appreciate it. With regards to success stories, or is there anything that I've not mentioned that you've not mentioned that people are doing and using press releases well? Is there any other add-ons that you want to mention? Is there anything else working?
One that I love, and we added this not quite a year ago, which is as a way to get additional juice for your press release and additional links for you or for your site, which is we have an add-on service. We call it podcast publishing. So we take your article and we create an evergreen podcast episode with it. And then the links within whatever you're linking to in your press release, we take those and we embed those into the show notes, and then we publish it out across the News Guy podcast. And so, like we'll take your headline and boom, we'll use that headline. And then when you go to publish, like, hey, Randy's plumbing service in Cleveland, not only am I going to get my press release article, generally I'm going to get a Yahoo or a Digital Journal or AP News or whatever is going to show that article, but then bam, right there is going to be that podcast episode as well. And from a client standpoint, it was a great way to demonstrate to a client, like, look, that one press release, this service, we just like occupied spaces on the first page for you with your brand name. But those podcast links are really nice. I mean, they're high authoritative, do follow links. I mean, getting a do follow from TuneIn on whatever it is that you want. I mean, that is just a great link. And we do that cheap on our site. I think it's a cheap service that we do.
Plus not only that is that the outbound links on those type of sites, they're not been as abused as much as everything else. So that knowledge bomb alone is key in the fact that what you're saying there, the brilliant domains and the outbound link ratio is not that high, and the do follow. It's just it works like gangbusters.
It's funny that you say about the outbound ratio in that, because if you go and you look at show notes on podcasts, aside from the guys who are really doing, right? So you've got like what are there? There may be like 1,000 really high performing podcasts against the millions that are out there. 95% of the ones that are out there don't put links in their show notes. And so that's why like you can do this. And they're like, wow, these are really good and juicy to send out. They're not diluted. Yeah.
This is the exact reason why you should be getting the press releases from you, with all the little bolt-on extras that you get.
Nice. The News Guy. Get them right there. Yeah.
So anyone that wants to now buy a press release from Randy, let's wrap it up. How do people get in touch with yourself?
Yeah.
And how do people want to place that first press release order with you?
Yeah, easy, man. Just go to thenewsguy.com. And we got On that site, we've got all of our offerings, all of our different packages. We list several of the add-ons, but we're listing. So when you go and you click on, hey, I want to order now or whatever, it takes you to our order page, and we've got the full menu of everything that we're adding on and that you can do with your with your press releases there. And then we also do a bunch of other kind of link building services as well that you can do separately. So yeah. A
If
lot of
someone,
fun.
if
But
some,
yeah,
if someone,
newsguy.com.
if someone's looking to order from thenewsguy.com, but they're uncertain what topic to talk about or uncertain what to do, can they jump on a call with yourself or with one
all
of the
day
team
long.
members?
You bet. Yeah. So actually, even on the homepage of thenewsguy.com, you can hey, book a free 15-minute consultation with me, and we'll jump on a Google Meet and chew it up and figure out what you need, and yeah, work from there.
Sounds good. So if anyone's watching this and they're not yet ready to buy a press release, hopefully you are now. Understanding that building that referring domain count, getting that diversity in your backlink profile, help with reputation management, building your brand SERP, getting that no follow to do follow ratio, and diversifying your anchor text profile as well. Yeah. There's lots of benefits to doing it. Randy, the news guy, has got an amazing service. Check it out, and we hope you enjoyed the podcast. Randy, it's been a pleasure.
Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Cheers,
it's been a lot
mate.
of fun. All right.
Cheers.